To prevent flood disasters and ensure the tranquility of their abode, Yoma personally supervised the construction of a sturdy embankment with the help of numerous small ghosts. When it came time to settle the accounts, the treasury was empty. Facing financial difficulties, Yoma decided to replace the extravagant and careless old steward with a new steward, who was frugal and thrifty. The news of Yoma hiring a new steward spread throughout the entire underworld like a chilling wind. Ghosts of all kinds, old and new, big and small, eagerly sought to fill this coveted position, competing fervently to be chosen. Why are there so many ghosts? Yoma stood at the door, feeling a tingling sensation on his scalp. The judge, by his side, nodded and bowed, saying, "They all want to be your steward, my lord." Yoma snorted and said, "This won't do. I only need someone who is thrifty and frugal. Just one person." After contemplating for a moment, he added, "Let's hold a super audition in the entire underworld. The more thrifty and frugal a ghost is, the more likely I'll hire them." "Wise decision, my lord," said the judge, and immediately began preparations for the audition. After preliminary rounds, semi-finals, and finals, only 4 ghosts of varying heights and shapes remained. Yoma himself would preside over the final round, with each candidate given a 1-minute time limit. The first to appear was a short ghost named Mr. Jin. He proudly declared his expertise in thriftiness, stating, "My lord, you can trust me completely in being thrifty. In an unrefined manner, I have never used toilet paper when going to the bathroom, all to save a bit on paper money." The audience murmured in response. Despite their reservations, they were impressed by Mr. Jin's dedication to frugality. He continued, "I use old newspapers to wipe." As soon as he finished speaking, applause erupted, and the audience seemed quite satisfied with his frugality. "What's this?" The second candidate was a tall ghost named Mr. Ping. He introduced himself, saying, "Everyone, truth be told, I'm more thrifty than this fellow. You may find it hard to believe, but when I defecate, I don't even use old newspapers. Why waste them when old newspapers can be sold as scrap?" Yoma was surprised, but intrigued. "So, what do you use to wipe?" he asked. "I beg your pardon, my lord. I collect pieces of dirt and bricks on the way, tuck them into my pocket, and use those discarded pieces for wiping. Isn't that even more economical?" Mr. Ping explained confidently. Yoma nodded in approval, realizing that Mr. Ping might be the future steward. Next. To keep the audition on track, Yoma signaled for the next candidate. The third candidate was a ghost named Mr. Shan. As soon as he began speaking, he made a shocking statement, "I must be frank, and judges, they both can't compare to me," uproar, as if a bomb had exploded. They couldn't believe there could be someone even more frugal. Seemingly prepared, Mr. Shan calmly stated, "Using old newspapers and dirty bricks? Those are still a waste. Let me tell you, I use used toilet paper, worn-out bricks that others have used." "Good!" Yoma exclaimed in satisfaction. He thought he had found the most frugal ghost, and Mr. Shan seemed poised to become the new steward. "Wait, I haven't spoken yet." Everyone turned to the final candidate, who turned out to be surprisingly chubby. With a modest smile, he said, "I'm contestant number 4, Mr. Gang. Their thrifty actions are just child's play, and my frugality surpasses theirs by far." Yoma was curious and listened as Mr. Gang confidently continued, "When it comes to going to the bathroom, using old newspapers or dirty bricks is nothing. In fact, I rarely defecate. I hardly use any paper, it's almost negligible." Yoma, both surprised and impressed, asked, "Then what do you use?" Please excuse me, my lord. I don't need to use anything. I barely defecate, I almost never do. Just look at my belly. Mr. Gang proudly patted his round belly, producing a crisp, resonant sound like a drum. Yoma's reading glasses fell off his nose, with a clatter. It was truly unexpected and touching to find a ghost who refrained from defecating to save on resources. Yoma, moved by the thought of the money saved by Mr. Gang, decided on the spot to appoint him as the super thrifty ghost and sign a contract, officially making him the new steward. Mr. Gang, true to his reputation, managed finances skillfully. He not only saved money, but also contributed a considerable amount to Yoma. Seeing the treasury slowly replenish, Yoma was overjoyed. He decided to use the surplus to build a convenient bridge in the underworld, ensuring that the small ghosts wouldn't encounter difficulties in inclement weather. One night, Yoma and his wife were discussing the construction of the bridge in their bedroom. They veered into the topic of the new steward, and Yoma suggested, "Mr. Gang is truly capable. In less than a year, he saved tens of thousands of taels of silver. Let's reward him with a chance to be reborn in the mortal realm next time." His wife, applying makeup in front of the mirror, responded with a dismissive tone, "If you let him go, who will save you money?" Yoma thought for a moment and agreed. Suddenly, they heard a commotion outside, with soldiers shouting, "It's flooding. There's a massive flood. Quick, protect the Lord." Perplexed, Yoma wondered if the recently constructed embankment had failed. Grabbing his wife, he intended to flee to a high platform on the western side of the door. As he reached for the door handle, it opened on its own, and a foul-smelling yellowish liquid gushed into the room, catching them off guard. Yoma couldn't help but ask, "What is this?" His wife, still in his arms, previously panicked and disheveled, now strangely calm, replied, "Ask yourself. Listen to what they are shouting outside." Yoma, with his ear pressed to the door, heard, "It's not a flood, it's shit flooding Jin Shan." Mr. Gang had finally released the accumulated feces, causing a breach. Yoma, shaken back to reality, couldn't help but curse in disbelief.